So, good afternoon, not good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I was recording videos this afternoon. No, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this week's That's On This.tv Monday night Facebook live broadcast. If you're here for the first time, we do this every single week on a Monday night, 9 p.m. till 10 p.m. It's completely free. I live stream on Facebook. It also goes out on the That's On This Twitter feed, goes out on my own personal LinkedIn profile. Just link in with me, Ross Grant. More than happy to link in with any actors who are on here. And we just chew the fat, basically, about all things acting, everything that's going down on That's On This.tv, everything that's going down on Bulletproof Actor right now. That's something that I've recently just relaunched. We're doing an incredible event in November for actors who really want to go deep on their mindset, their mental game, their mental resilience, ultimately just get out of their own way when it comes to their belief system and basically what they think they can and can't achieve. Because a lot of actors who I know who are so talented, who are getting absolutely nowhere because they're the thing that's getting in their own way, basically. Their head, their mindset, their confidence, self-belief, anxiety, procrastination. They've got more than enough talent to succeed in this industry, but they're actually not taking action based on a faulty belief system. So bulletproofactor.com, you can check out that. I've put in the pinned comments here on Facebook, actually, bulletproofactor.com/replay if you want to get access to a free training that me and high performance coach Matt Hall did last Saturday. I'm going to be bringing that down very, very soon. So do go and check that out, bulletproofactor.com/replay. You can watch that just for a limited time. But we're going to be chewing the fat on all that. It's Mental Health, World Mental Health Day today, so we will talk about mindset tonight. Going to be recapping on last week's broadcast that we did with Emmerdale actor Mr. Bradley Johnson. He plays Vinnie Dingle in Emmerdale. That was an incredible session. And then I'm also going to be sharing an invite to this week's Acts on This member-only session with one of the most talented writers I think we've got in the country. But I will disclose that later on. So let us know how you're doing before I start playing out some videos. Chris is here, Sophia's here, so I hope everyone is well. Adam's here, good evening, Adam. Kerry, how you doing? Says, fab starts of the week. Got some venues for our play. Mastered iMovie, nice one. And edited myself a micro reel. Emails from casting directors today. Steaming in this week. Kerry, you know what I'm talking about? That's action. That is action. And that is what leads to results. So fair play to you. And if you've posted the reel in the Facebook group, I'll make sure that I check that out. So yeah, let us know if anyone else has had any exciting news this week. I'm going to go over to actsonthis.tv, just show you what's been going on over there. Like I say, if you go into the preview section of the website, if you're not a member, you can check out all of the latest features that we've done recently as like little previews. You can see what you've missed. This was last week's, but it's gone up this week on the website as a replay. An incredible session with Emmerdale actor Bradley Johnson. It's called Whatever You Do, Don't Give Up. And he tells a story. I'm going to share some of it tonight because I've got a little clip out of this 2-hour session that we did with Brad. He shares a story in that of when he was literally ready to just quit. And he was just like, how long can I keep doing this before I just get a real job and I can find something that I can work my way up in and actually earn a stable living out of? And then literally a few days later, he got the phone call for Emmerdale. He initially as well went up for a different role that he didn't get. He got down to the screen test and he didn't get that role. So that was another rejection. He thought, I just can't deal with this. And then they brought him back to audition him for a different role, the role of Vinny, which he did get. But it was an incredible session with Brad. Let me know if you were on that session. I'm going to play out some video clips of that tonight. But other sessions we had recently, an incredible podcast that I put out with TV director Mr. Matt Holt. That again was another big one on sort of, just continuing to experiment within the industry and just mess around in lots of different sectors of it to find actually what you really sort of like lights you up. Because you can be more than just an actor. You can be a writer as well as an actor, or you might want to direct, or you might want to be a cameraman, you might want to do sound, you might want to do editing. Like Kerry said, she's mastered iMovie. Maybe you want to do that. But it was a really good chat that we did with Matt. Matt's just directed a brand new BBC drama called A Kind of Spark, which is coming out in 2023. That'll be a really good drama to look out for. Then we had Casualty, casting director Mr. Roland Beckley on the week before that. That was incredible. We had George Bukhari, brilliant actor who you'll have seen in ITV's Ridley recently, the week before that. We did Show Real Surgery the week before that. We had super producer and 7 times BAFTA winner Nicholas Schindler on the week before that. Jason Mazza the week before that. just loads of stuff basically has been going on on this recently, and we do it every single week. So if you're not a member yet, come and check the site out. If you want to jump on Zoom calls, private Zoom calls with the biggest names in the industry, and just learn basically how to take your CV career forward much faster. Going to play you 2 minutes of what you missed out on if you didn't tune in for the session with Brad last week. Check it out. You'll know him as Vinny Dingle in Emmerdale. You may have seen him in shows like Shameless and The Syndicate too. It's actor Bradley Johnson in the house. Brad, thank you so much for doing this, mate. How are you this fine evening? Who is Bradley Johnson?
My mum brought me up single-handedly. So she tried me in football academy, hated it. It was too cold. Tried rugby, hated that. And then I went to go see a musical. I'm sure it was Annie at the Alhambra, which is
no way.
My local theatre. And I just said in the interval, Mum, that's what I want to do.
We all have that little kid in us that was the thing, you know, the little boy or girl that wanted to get into acting. And then as we get older, like the fear kicks in and suddenly you lose that.
You know, the amount of times where I've been penciled for a part and not got it, and you get so close to it, and then it's like, okay, back to square one. What
was your story of almost quitting? And was Emmerdale the thing that kept you in it?
I'd just been on a primetime BBC One show. In my head, it's quite naive that I thought, right, I'm going to get some work here. No.
Yeah.
Audition came, it was a year had passed and I wasn't getting anything. And I was like, oh, this is so hard. I was thinking, how long can I keep doing this before I get a real job or do something which I can kind of, you know, work my way up in. Got a phone call from my agent. It was like, we've got a casting for you.
I'm going to play a little bit.
As long as we live, this is my solemn promise. And I will live.
I know you will.
How did you prep for that audition? What sort of tips would you recommend?
I just said do your research.
Yeah.
Because I know on my script it was with Sam Dingle, and it was kind of like a comedy script. And obviously, luckily, I've watched the show for many years. So I kind of knew how he talked and kind of, you know, played his part.
How can you work out what your casting type is and where you fit into the industry?
Do you have any advice for anyone like me who gets in their own head quite a lot?
Be your complete self and don't care what anybody else thinks. As long as you're doing your full best, that's all you can do. Don't ever give up on your dream. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. Just keep going.
actonthis.tv. If you've not got a membership, get a membership. You can access the full, it's just over 90 minutes, a 90-minute chat there with Brad. What I love about that is, you know, he says at the start there, he's like, listen, you know, as a kid, didn't really know what I wanted to do. Went to football practice, it was too cold, hated it. Went to rugby practice, hated it. And then he went and watched Annie, and he was like, I'm in. I did Annie, the musical, at secondary school. I took it just to basically just get out of maths and stuff like that. I was like, I'll sing, it's fine. I'll do a bit of that just to get out of the boring classes. But what was it for you that got you into acting? What was it where you were like, right, I now want to do this? Do you remember the very moment? I'd love to know in the chat if you're here live, or if you watch on the replay, please tweet me this at actonthistv. What was the very moment you decided, I want to do that? Because I can remember I was sat in the cinema, might sound a bit mental, I think I was probably 5 or 6, and I was watching Michael Jackson's film Moonwalker. And I saw this guy move like no one had ever seen before, and he was acting in this film, and he got to dance, and it was just, I just loved his music. But I walked out of the cinema that day and was like, that's what I'm going to do. For the rest of my life, that's what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it, I have no idea, I'm 6. But basically, I want to act and be on the telly and be in films and stuff like that. And that was it. I mean, genuinely, that was it. I could not get that out of my head. To this day, I still love that film. And that was it. My decision was made. It's weird, isn't it? When you choose and why you choose to do the things that you end up doing for the rest of your life. It's a little bit mental, but I would love to know, what it was for you guys. For Brad, it was watching Annie. What was it for you? Let us know. Andrew Lord in the house, how you doing? Rich, good evening. Maya, how are you? Nick's in the house now as well. Lowry, how are you? Thanks for being here. Kerry says, I actually don't know. I used to pretend I was in a soap when I was at home making C. I was about 9. I wanted cameras following me. I just knew. Get your own reality show, Kerry. Just, have the cameras following you around. Do a vlog. I did a vlog. Petch followed me around with the camera for 2 years. If you go to youtube.com/watchross, I still think that's a wicked vlog. Go to youtube.com/watchross at some point this week. Watch an episode and let me know if you want us to do a special episode. because we've not done one for like 2 years, but it was good. I literally would take Petch into the studio, behind the scenes of voiceovers, meetings with my agent. We'd hang around Media City. We'd have interviews in there with famous actors or directors and stuff like that. It was just such good fun. But we got into trouble sometimes because Petch would literally follow me with the camera everywhere, and I would just say to him, "Don't stop filming until security literally like grab the camera off you." So we caught loads of cool stuff that we weren't really supposed to, be walking around the BBC filming stuff and things like that. But was good. YouTube.com/Watch Ross. Check it out. So that's the first little clip that I wanted to play from Brad there. But you will have also heard in that little mashup there from this 90-minute chat, or just over 90 minutes, the part where he talks about his Emmerdale audition, right? And we go into quite a lot of depth on that, on like what it was like, how he prepared for it, how he would recommend other actors prepare for soap auditions, all this kind of stuff. But there was a part of that where we dived into sort of rejection and handling rejection. And obviously, like I said before, it's World Mental Health Day today. I know rejection really F's actors up completely, can screw them up. They can get one rejection and then that's it. They go, right, I'm shit, can't do this anymore. They quit probably just before they were about to have some kind of success. And I'm going to show you an image today as well, because I'm working on this Bulletproof Actor weekend that I'm doing in November. I've been working on the modules today. This is going to be like the most in-depth mindset coaching program on earth for actors, full stop. You should definitely get involved in this. But I'm going to show you a graphic in a minute that shows you what most actors think should happen in the career compared to what does happen when you want success in anything. But rejection really screws people up. So you will have heard that, it might sound cliche, but that phrase, rejection is just redirection. But listen to this, because it really is, honestly. Brad initially got seen at Emmerdale for a role for a character called Lachlan. Had he got that, he would never have gone on. He didn't get it, right, and you'll hear in this, but he would never have gone on to then be seen for his character Vinny, and then being basically in the show for the last 4 years, right? At the time, imagine you go up for another regular character and you don't get it. You will be devastated. You'll be like, that's it, oh my God. But you can't see the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking back, can't you? Had he got this, it wouldn't have been as good for his career as the part that he now has. But listen to this. I just hope it sort of like helps people deal with rejection right now, and maybe just gives you a little bit of hope and inspiration to just go, look, I'm just being redirected to something better. What was your story of almost quitting, and was Emmerdale the thing that kept you in it?
So when I was going through my GCSEs and A-levels, I found it hard to keep going for castings down London and stuff like that. So I kind of had a couple of years off during A-levels to focus on it. Yeah. And then a show called Let It Shine, which was a singing competition, came into our school. And my teacher went, oh, Bradley, why don't you just go sing for them? So anyway, sang for them. It led to an audition at Media City for Let It Shine. And I made it to the final. But I still wanted an agent to do acting. So I was lucky enough to sign with my agent, which is Cam in London. And that's when it started. It was like 2 years. I've been on a high, just been on a primetime BBC One show. In my head, it's quite naive that I thought, right, I'm going to get some work here. No. Yeah. Audition came, it was a year had passed and I wasn't getting anything. And I was like, oh, this is so hard. In my head, I was thinking, how long can I keep doing this before I get a real job or do something which I can kind of, work my way up in. And then I've watched Emmerdale all my life. It's been on in my house since being a kid. Yep. And got a phone call from my agent. It was like, we've got a casting for you. I actually went for a part called Lachlan. And I went for about 5 auditions and I was doing a screen test for it. And I think there was about 2 or 3 people for the part and I was one of them. And I remember at the time thinking, I really want this. Anyway, I didn't get it. But in hindsight, it was a great thing that I didn't get it. So yeah, this audition came along and I was saying to Mum, I was like, I really, really want this.
This is for Vinny, yeah? This is for the Vinny role? This is
for Vinny, yeah. And then I went to the audition, really tried hard on it. And it's a weird thing. When I walked out, I got this feeling that I'd got it. And then I got in the car, drove home. This one on the Monday. Got a phone call on the Thursday. You've got the part. Wow. I was like, what? So there's no kind of like recall or anything? It was like, no, you've got it. You start on Monday. Had the best time ever, and then there was 7 months of nothing. Didn't hear a single thing. And then I got a phone call about 7 months later. Do you want to sign a 6-month contract? And I was like, yeah, 100%.
No way, I didn't know this.
Yeah. And then now I'm going into my 4th year at Emmerdale.
Like I say, unlock the full session now at actsonthis.tv. Grab your membership if you've not got one. Come and join us on sessions like that every single week with the biggest names in TV. But just to sort of like to recap on that in case you didn't follow it exactly, what had happened is, Brad basically got invited. He went through a period of time with nothing at all. He just went on ITV's Let It Shine, which was a singing competition, got to the final, didn't win. In his head, he was like, right, well, you know what? I'm going to get work. Absolute crickets. Didn't get anything at all. Wasn't really invited to audition for much. The odd thing here and there. Nothing led to anything. And then, he went through like a massive dry spell. Then he gets a call from his agent going, listen, we've got this audition for you. It's for Emmerdale. So he thinks, buzzing, right? I've got this audition for Lachlan, this character in Emmerdale. It's a regular 5 auditions they make him do for it. Gets down to the screen test. Doesn't get the job. Absolutely devastated yet again, like we all would be, because we've all been there when, you know, I've had a couple of occasions where I would have had a life-changing gig if I'd have got it. Got down to the last 2 on both occasions and been second best on both occasions. Then what happens, again, bit of a dry period, then gets invited back to audition for Vinny. He's like, I really want this. I've got to get this. Another regular. Many months later, though, well, it wasn't a regular at that point, actually. It was just going to be 4 episodes. That was it. Gets the part, anyway, does a good job with the audition, gets the part, 4 episodes, and then hears nothing for 7 months. So in his head, he's like, didn't get the regular, got this smaller part, now back to nothing again, back to the day job, it's struggling again, like we all do in between jobs. And then 7 months later, he gets a call saying, do you want a 6-month contract as this character you played 7 months ago? That was now 4 years ago. So had he got Lachlan, he wouldn't have been doing 4 years of the show. Lachlan was in it for a little while, but I don't even know if he's in it anymore. But, you know, Vinny's a character that just suits him much, much better. So, ultimately, the moral there is, like he says, and like I've titled the whole feature, if you go to actsonthis.tv and watch the whole interview with Brad, like, never, ever give up. Because I see so many actors just quitting just before I think they're ready to pop. And let me just show you. I'm just gonna dive into the comments and say hello to a few people, because I think some new people joining us tonight. But I'm just going to show you a graphic that I've been using in a training that, you know, that I'm putting together. Like I say, for the end of November, we're doing this Bulletproof Actor weekend. It's me, a top high performance mindset coach, Matt Hall. We're doing an entire full day Saturday, full day Sunday on Zoom. Plus 30 days of follow-up, loads of aftercare, basically for actors who really want to dive deep into developing a bulletproof psychology, you know, cultivate unstoppable confidence, basically, for this industry. And I started working on a graphic today that I'm going to show you that I know every actor will relate to when it comes to having success, how they think it's going to go and how it actually does go. Rich says, so this is interesting. Everybody's commenting on why they started becoming an actor. Like, what was the moment where they were like, right, I want to be an actor? For Rich said, for me, it was seeing people smile when I did my impressions and jokes. Love seeing audiences engage and react to my performances. Malcolm said it was playing Dr. Bradman in Noel Coward's Blythe Spirit when I was 16 at school. It's all those school plays, isn't it, Malcolm? That was it for me. He said, unfortunately, my dad didn't see it like that, so I've had to do 30 years in the police. Okay, before I got to live my dream. Malcolm, I know loads of ex-coppers who have gone on to do incredible things in the acting industry. I've actually got an interview coming up this Thursday night for all members of actsonthis.tv with this guy here. I'm showing this a bit earlier. I was going to show you this later. But Tony Schumacher is the writer of The Responder, starred Martin Freeman on BBC One. Tony's story is incredible. He was a copper, Malcolm. He had a breakdown, eventually left the police, became homeless, ended up getting back on his feet, became a taxi driver, I believe, and it was a chance encounter with a passenger in his taxi that got him into writing. Now, he's just been nominated, literally today, if I go over to his Twitter, let's just go over to Twitter. He's just been nominated for 4 nominations for the Royal Television Society Awards, including Best Drama, Best Scriptwriter, because he's freaking incredible. He's just such an incredible writer. And yeah, he was in the police for years. He based The Responder on being in the police. That was effectively like his story. So we're going to be talking to him all about that this Thursday night. If you're not a member of actsonthis.tv, go to actsonthis.tv, get a membership. It's £6 a week. It's dirt cheap. It will change your acting career. You'll be able to join sessions every week with the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, producers in TV. And if you can't make it live, they're all recorded and you can unlock them literally instantly in the members area right now. Every session for the last 2 years that you've missed is instantly available. So Being a cop is only a good thing, Malcolm. Plenty of experience to bring to the industry. Sayera, I've probably butchered your name. Sorry about that. Says used to watch Fred Astaire. No way, Gene Kelly movies and wanted to dance. Me and my sisters had the old reel-to-reel tape recorders. Yes, I'm 53. No way. It's never. Age is nothing but a number in this industry, though. Oh, hang on. My phone's decided it's going to disconnect my internet. Bear with me, guys. I'm getting back on the net. Hang on, I'm coming back. I've probably just stalled for a second. Hang on a minute. You might still be able to hear me, but I'll be back. It's just changing internet connection. Come on. Get on the good connection. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Come on now. Let me know if you can still hear me. It's going to be dodgy for a little minute, I think. But now, hopefully, things will be getting a little bit better. It looks like streaming should be a bit better. Let me just know if I am back. I should be. Sorry about that. For those on the recording, you won't have noticed anything dodgy there whatsoever. That was just my phone playing up there, guys. Sorry about that. So Sierra, I don't know if you heard me reading your comment out, but yeah, you were saying you watch Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly movies. That's amazing. That got you into it. Raya, Rhymes with Fire, said I played the innkeeper's wife in the school nativity and got the biggest laugh. Yeah, she says I was sold. I think I only had 3 lines. Hey, you know what? You made him count though, Raya. 3 lines. That's all you need to make an impression. Definitely. Joe, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Bianca says I went to watch Aladdin at the Battersea Arts Centre. I was about 3. Bloody hell. And Widow Twanky asked for a volunteer. I just walked up on stage before he chose a volunteer, and the moment I looked out to the audience, I knew and felt like this is where I belong. That's wicked. I love that. Yeah, hopefully the sound and the visuals are back, Raya. I was just having an issue with my internet connection there. Nick says watching sitcoms. Oh, Birds of a Feather. Who remembers that? Birds of a Feather and 2.4 Children. Absolutely amazing shows. I grew up on those as well. They were so Pauline Quirk in Birds of a Feather and Leslie, not Leslie Sharp, Leslie Grantham. No, that's a bloke. Who was the woman who played Dorian in Birds of a Feather? It was Leslie someone. I'm sure it was, but she was absolutely brilliant in it. I love that. So yeah, keep them coming. If you are here live, let me know what it was. The very moment, if you can remember it, what was the very moment that got you into acting? Probably, no doubt, when you were a kid, or maybe not. Maybe it was when you were adult as well. But like something, I'm sure you can maybe remember the very moment that that it hit you. So I've played those 2 clips out. Yeah, I've got. Let me show you this graphic. Right, this is from this program that I'm creating with Matt Hall. He's a top high-performance mindset coach. And this is from a book called Atomic Habits, which is an incredible book. You should all go and get it. You should all read it. And this is ultimately like a little graph of results and time and what people in all walks of life imagine is going to happen to their results over time, whether you are trying to become a successful actor or, I don't know, maybe you're working on your body in the gym. Maybe you're working on some kind of, emotional mastery. Maybe you're working on your mindset, your relationship. Literally everything you can apply this to. And it shows you the line there. For those who are listening on the audio experience, basically just imagine a graph, and then there is a line that just goes in a straight line diagonally from left to top right. So it's like you would imagine, success would go. You start off, and as time passes by, you have more and more and more and more and more success. And that's what people think should happen. So many actors that I coach, they expect this. They're like, right, well, I'm going to go to class and I'm going to get better. And then I'm going to go to the next class and I'm going to get better. Then I'm going to get my headshots. Then I'm going to get a show reel. Then I'm going to get on Spotlight. Then I'm going to get an agent. And I'm going to get better and better and better. Does not happen at all. If you look at the line that is more like a... try to describe it. How would you describe that for people in the audio experience? Basically, guys, imagine kind of like a bowl shape, but just half of the bowl. So it starts off like on the bottom of the bowl and then gradually kind of curves up until it's almost straight up in the air. Okay, that's actually what really happens for most people when they're looking for success. So they start off and they start very, very gradually making progress. But then for a very long time, they end up in the bottom of the bowl, effectively, which in this book, Atomic Habits, is called the Valley of Disappointment. Hockey stick, yeah. But Rich says like a hockey stick shape. Yeah, exactly, like the end of a hockey stick. Who do you think? And it's a curve, says Nick. Yeah, so it's more of a curve than a straight line. I'm so terrible at explaining stuff. How many people here, because I meet actors every day who I would say are in the valley of disappointment. And it's not that they are not making progress, because they bloody are. They are absolutely making progress. But what happens is it can often take 2-3 years of living in this valley of disappointment. And within that, you're still going up. You're still making small incremental, sort of advances in your career. Maybe you start off and obviously you don't have an agent. You don't have your showreel. You don't have headshots. You don't really know how the industry works. No casting director knows you exist. You've never written to a casting director before. You've never had an audition before. Gradually, these things fall into place, but you don't get that instant boom. I'm oh my God, I feel successful and I'm going to get a role, right? A lot of people come into the industry just expecting that to happen. And in my experience of literally coaching thousands of actors now, I mean thousands, probably over 5,000 actors in the last 12 and a half years, for 99% of them, I see them live in this valley of disappointment 2, 3, sometimes 5 years, not realizing that if they just kept going, they would absolutely break out. So an example of this is, and again, it's using this book, Atomic Habits. I'm gonna talk a lot about this on this Bulletproof Actor weekend. The chapter around this talks about a block of ice. Now imagine a block of ice, right? Ice melts at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that's when ice melts. Anything under that, ice will just stay ice. Okay. Now he talks about in the book, the author of the book, saying if you have a block of ice in the room and it's 20 degrees Fahrenheit, right? That ice is ice. Okay, and it's just going to stay ice. And you move that temperature up 1 degree to 21, it's still ice. 22, still ice. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, still ice. The second you move up one more increment, now you've just moved up 11 increments over, however much time, maybe across an hour, you turn the temperature up 1 degree every few minutes. So over an hour, you've moved the temperature up 11 degrees and the ice is still ice. And you're like, shit, I'm putting in all this effort. Each one of those degrees might be you going to another 6 months of acting classes, might be having another show reel scene shot, another letter to agent, or being dropped by an agent, try to get another agent, auditions, all this kind of stuff, every one of those degrees. And it's still, boom, no breakthrough yet, no breakthrough. And yet, just one more degree of effort, you've already put in 11, just one more degree of effort takes you to 32 degrees and that ice starts to melt. And then from there, every degree of effort you put in extra, it rises the temperature up just 1 degree Fahrenheit. Suddenly that ice is just water then, and then it's evaporating, it's steam, and it's gone. And that's where people are like, literally, they're away. But people don't stay in the game long enough to turn the heat up that extra 1 degree. They quit at 31. So all they have done is they spent years of their life living in the valley of disappointment, and then they call it a day. So it's just, about staying in the game long enough. And obviously, in order to stay in the game, I'll keep it on the screen just for 2 seconds if you want to take a screenshot of that, guys. In order to stay in the game, you've really got to work on your head. You've got to work on your mental health. You've got to work on your mindset. And also, you've got to, I think, as actors, and this is something, again, I'm not going to give it all away now because this is happening on the Bulletproof Actor weekend. Again, bulletproofactor.com. To get your place on that. It'll change your life like indefinitely forever. Like if you're 20 now and you do this weekend, you'll have 80 years of far more happiness on earth until you die. If you're 80, you'll have 20 more years of a much happier life if you get your head right. But I think actors' identities are all screwed up because I think we subconsciously and unconsciously take on the identity of an actor and think all an actor is, you're only an actor when you're actually on the telly. Like that's people's identity as an actor. So if that's what you're taking on as your identity, well, I can only be an actor when I'm on the telly. That's why you feel so freaking awkward before you've had that role or whatever, or even when you've had a few, when someone says, oh, what do you do? And you go, oh, I'm an actor. And they go, oh, what have I seen you in then? That's why that moment's so screwed up for a lot of people. And they say things like, oh, I'm trying to be an actor. If your identity is trying to be an actor, then you're going to find it a lot harder to actually be an actor. You know, imagine, I'm trying to think, I don't know, like, remember a friend of mine a few years ago tried to give up smoking. And someone, you know, I don't know, he'd be out or whatever, and he was saying this, he made this switch in his head where people would offer him, you know, they'd be like, oh, I'm going outside to smoke, are you coming? And he would say, oh, no, I'm trying to give up. And he said, when I started changing the language in my head to, no, I'm not trying to give up, to saying, no, I don't smoke, I'm not a smoker, it was way easier to go, no, I'm absolutely, I don't identify with that anymore. It's not part of my identity. It's really easy to give up. So, you know, if your identity is you're trying to be an actor, and what you define as an actor is someone who's just on TV, until you get there and your goal is an outcome-based goal, you're always going to be unhappy living in that valley of disappointment. So when you start changing your goals from outcome-based goals to output-based goals, and you start redefining what being an actor means to you, then life gets a lot better, a lot faster. But we're going to cover all of that. Like, I mean, this Bulletproof Actor weekend, we're doing literally 16 hours of coaching across 2 days, and then 30 days of coaching after that as well. So it's a massive game-changing program for those people who really want to get on top of it and have their best year ever. Ultimately, in 2023, that's why we're doing it. The coaching finish is actually on Christmas Eve, which is proper cool. How good's that? You get involved in the program, we finish on Christmas Eve, you're going to have the best Christmas of your life, and then the best year of your life the year after. But yeah, I thought it was quite an interesting graphic. Let me know what you think of it. I'm just going to go back and look at some more comments on here. Gary says the zone of of disappointment, the valley of disappointment, looks like a hammock to lie in. That's what most people do. That's why, actually, Gary, most people stay in it, because they aren't turning the temperature up 1 degree. They think they've got to do something absolutely massive to change their career, when they really don't. They have to just take and make, you know, they have to take small, consistent steps every single day to get what they want, and form habits that back up that new identity that they create for themselves. You know, an actor, for me, is somebody who is creative. You know, so actually, are you being creative? You know, it's not, an actor for me is not someone who's just on telly. So how are you being creative yourself? Or are you just waiting for someone else to give you permission to be creative? An actor for me is someone who works hard on the craft. Are you working on your craft? It's someone who is constantly looking for opportunity. Are you always looking for opportunity? Because maybe, like, you do not attribute these things to the identity of an actor. For you, an actor is someone who's on telly. Well, therefore, you're never going to feel like an actor. You're going to feel like a fraud until you're always on telly. And that's very, very unlikely for people who are living in that mindset anyway in the first place. So it's fascinating, really, how all our heads work around success and stuff. But I just see so many actors who I know could be doing better, because I know they're really good, and they're just getting in their own way because, like I say, they're trying. I'm an aspiring actor. You're not. Embody what being an actor is for you, but we need to redefine what it is. It can't just be someone who's in films and in TV all the time, because that's no actor's life, no matter how famous you are. You're not in stuff all the time. Let's have a look. What's going on? Kerry says, so not in the valley of disappointment as such, but I have to admit, though once I had secured 3 EPs in a BBC drama last year, I did think that would be the beginning of my upward trajectory. It's just another degree, Kerry, innit? Up to that 32 degrees where things really start going. And do you know what happens when people reach that equivalent of 32 degrees Fahrenheit in their career? Everyone else, Kerry, goes, oh, it's an overnight success. No, it's not. I don't know, and I haven't met yet. I'm not saying people aren't lucky, but I haven't met a successful actor in my life yet. And I've been professional in this industry for how many years now? Oh, God, like 18 years. I haven't met a single person who's had success who hasn't bled out their eyes for it, to be honest with you. Like, I just haven't, you know, who haven't been living in that valley of disappointment for a long time. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I just haven't met one yet. And I've met a lot of actors. So, yeah, that's just, you know, your 3 EPs in that BBC drama, Kerry, last year. It's another degree, working your way up to the 32. Boom. Then it all starts melting. Then literally steam. It's evaporating. You're flying. Your career's so hot. You're on fire. In a good way. But it is, it's just like, I just see it. I just see it a lot, honestly. And I get it, because it can seem like you're putting in all the effort in the world and you're getting no results. but you're just turning up the heat that little bit more each time. And every time a casting director sees you and you don't get the job, it's still turning up the heat that little bit more, because they will see you again if you've done a good job. An actor I know in the community now has been seen 3 times by Daniel Edwards in the last, I think probably like the last 6 weeks, something like that. The team at Daniel's office, if it's Lucy or Tom or Kat, I don't know exactly who it is who's seeing her, but they wouldn't keep asking her back if she wasn't doing a good job with the tapes. Thus, every single tape is a little extra degree, and then boom, at some point, it's going to get hot enough. I just love the analogy. It's really cool. Callum, how you doing, mate? He says, I'm not sure precisely when the moment was that I wanted to be an actor. I just remember enjoying it in drama school, and I continue to enjoy it today. However, I also remember all the fun moments I've had as a supporting artist, which only confirms my decision of wanting to be an actor. What made you go to drama school, though, Callum? So you already knew you wanted to be an actor by the time you got there. What was it where you went, yeah, I'm going to do that? I'd love to know that. It's really interesting, though, isn't it? Like, I think it's one of the only professions in the world where people enter it at all different sides of their life, from all backgrounds, all walks of life, all ethnicities, all genders, all whatever. I mean, just like, it's such a incredible mix of everything. I'm sure, I don't know, people like, maybe they do. Maybe like, I'd imagine like, regular jobs. I don't know. Actors always use like the comparison of like a plumber, don't they? For that, well, you wouldn't ask a plumber to work for free. Why ask an actor to work for free? I wonder if people of all walks of life, at all ages, decide they're going to be a plumber. So, Malcolm, if you were in the police for 30 years, were you absolutely gegging to be a plumber, or has anybody in the police ever thought, you know what, when I get out of the police in 30 years, I'm definitely getting into plumbing? I think acting is a pretty unique career, isn't it? Really unique career like that. Not saying there's anything wrong with plumbing. I mean, God, like, I couldn't do it, and I need plumbers, and they're incredible assets to society. But I don't know if people decide they're going to do that later in life, whereas acting or whatever, people come from all ages, all walks of life. So yeah, still love to know, if you've not put it in the comments yet, what it was that made you want to become an actor. Joe says, I've applied voiceover work today. Nice one, Joe. Plus Spotlight bursary. I've also applied for the monologue showcase as well. What's that? What's the monologue showcase? Is that something Spotlight are doing that I've not seen, or something like that, Joe? Let us know. Who was it who said my job is going for auditions? Oh, probably so many actors that we've had on Acts on This.tv, Gary, in interviews have said that. I don't know if there was like a more famous person who said that everybody's copied. But that does seem to be the thing there, doesn't it? For me, the auditions, without a doubt, the job interviews, without a doubt, the hardest part. Doing your audition in the room and having to, imagine all of that stuff going on around you in a scene, and, sort of embody all that. It's so much harder in a room with sat on a chair on a plain background than when you're actually on set. When you get on set, generally acting's a breeze, because a lot of it's done for you. You don't have to imagine you're in the middle of a busy bar and you're shouting over the music, because they'll just put you in the middle of a busy bar, and they won't make you shout over the music. Actually, they'll play a little bit and then they'll turn it off and they'll make you dance to nothing, and then they put the music on afterwards, so you are just shouting to nothing. But you know what I mean. You get the point. Rich says all about marginal gains. Yeah, it is. Well, this book, Atomic Habits, is all about that. Atomic in down to the atom, meaning the smallest thing that you could do. I'm big on people taking massive action. I'll use that phrase a lot. To get the results you want, you've got to believe in your potential, and you've got to take the massive specific action to get the results that you want. But a lot of that massive specific action that I talk about really is constructed of those tiny, consistent things that you do every day. So the massive action might be, right, send 30 emails this month, but I'm not telling you to do it all in one day. That will be literally one email a day to 30 casting directors you've never introduced yourself to before, that are handpicked, and you are sending scenes from your reel specifically for those casting directors. That's the massive specific action, but it's the compound effect of the tiny, seemingly insignificant decisions that you make every day, that really add up to that massive action. Let's have a look. Rhys says Michael Keaton might have said that. Auditions the work for me. I think Jurassic Park maybe want to be an actor. Indra, I love it, man. Do you know what? I hadn't seen Jurassic Park. Like, again, I'm so bad at watching films. Popular culture, I'm just shit at, right? I'd watch loads of obscure stuff because I'm just a bit weird. And my girlfriend was like, "What? You've never seen Jurassic Park? The new Jurassic Park Dominion's coming out. This is a few months ago." So she made me sit down over like a couple of weekends with her and watch all the original Jurassic Parks. What incredible films! And oh my god, these are 20 years old, and the CGI on these films is still so good. And it got me. Indra geeked out, mate. I actually went and bought the Lego Jurassic Park scene from the first Jurassic Park. So yeah, I'm a big Jurassic Park fan as well. Kerry says, I've also done 3 castings for Daniel Edwards too. They gave me the BBC series too. Nice. I love your analogy. I'm turning up the heat. Yeah, Kerry, everything you're doing, you're just turning up that extra notch in it, honestly. And then at some point, boom, you're taking off. I was thinking to train as a plumber as my side hustle, says Raya. Everyone needs a plumber. Raya, they do. Not even joking, they do. We've got massive drainage issues in this apartment block, so the whole of the first floor is being dug up right now. Plumbers are all over it. So if you want to give us a good deal, you can come and fix this if you get a good get your training in. Joe says, so having been civil servant and acting a lot during the 5 years. Oh, Joe, you might have hit enter before your comments fully typed there. Type it again, though. Bought one of our son's Atomic Habits as he asked for it for a present. Think I'm going to have to borrow it. Maya, it's so good. So good. I don't know if you're doing the Bulletproof Actor weekend, but we're going to cover a lot of it in module 2 of that weekend. And for those who haven't got a clue what I'm talking about, let me just show you very quickly. It's not a sales pitch, but I would love people to get involved in this. We've got nearly 100 actors involved in this so far. Let me get the right page up. It's this. If you go to bulletproofactor.com, you can read all about this weekend. It's called Unstoppable Confidence, Infinite Success version 2.0 live. And that's because version 1 was a course that I released for actors in 2014. It got retired in 2018, took about 350 actors through it. It changed a lot of people's lives. One person who went through it was Rachel Shenson, who went on to win an Oscar. And she's given me a great testimonial to say, ultimately, it was that program that completely changed the mindset that made her, believe in the potential that, she could not go on to achieve an Oscar. I don't think anybody sets that as a goal, but, actually go on to create her own material, create her own films, write her own scripts. But this is taking place on Saturday the 26th and Sunday the 27th of November. They're going to be 2 full days. We think they're probably going to be maybe 10 till 7 on each day. So this is really only for the most committed actors out there, right? It's 2 full days. It's fully recorded. If you can't make one of the days or anything like that, you can still get a ticket. It's all recorded. You'll get lifetime access to the recordings of everything. And basically, it's designed to help actors crush anxiety, like literally obliterate audition nerves, create the acting career they deserve by getting out of their own way. So it says there, it's a must-have program if you're an actor who doubts yourself and struggles with confidence in your own ability, if you're a procrastinator, because that's a massive thing for so many actors who always feels busy, but you never feel productive. Maybe you get to the end of the day and you're like, oh my God, I've been rushed off my feet. I'm so tired. I'm going to sit on the couch and do nothing. But actually, when you look at what you've done for your career that day, you're like, oh, I've basically done nothing or I've gone backwards. If you experience regular anxiety, whether that's in or out of your acting career, and ultimately, if you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, and you are ready to make some big changes in your life and career, I want you on this program. It's 8 modules. You can read all about it on bulletproofactor.com. It's with me and high-performance mindset coach Matt Hall. Matt's been a professional high-performance mindset coach for the last 6 years. Qualifications coming out of his ears. He's not just read The Secret and thinks that's it. He's a coach like so many people on the internet do. Please don't give people your money on the internet if they're just do your research. If so many people masquerade as like, oh, I'm a coach. Basically, they've been through a breakup. They've hit rock bottom. They feel like shit. They've read one book. They feel better. And they're like, right, I'm a mindset coach. That's not Matt, by the way. So, and I've been obsessed with positive psychology, science-backed positive psychology for 15 years. There's a video you can watch on the site there. Sorry for those on the audio experience. I'm showing people the homepage on bulletproofactor.com. But there's a video of testimonials for people who went through the program in 2014, including Rachel. There's over 520 quid worth of bonuses if you get a ticket right now. That includes 30 days of a private Facebook group that we're going to have for every single person who goes on this program. Matt is going to be running his own private WhatsApp group for people to go on this program, where you will have almost daily check-ins and accountability for what you are going to do in your career, to move yourself forward. There's an hour-long podcast with one of the best high-performance psychologists in the world, a guy called Dr. Aria. I know some people who've been working with him recently. He's expensive as well. Like he's obviously brilliant, but his coaching is a minimum of 500 quid an hour, and you've got a full hour of a podcast there that Matt did with Dr. Aria. We've got payment plans on there as well. It's only 247 quid basically for the full weekend, the 30 days of follow-up coaching, and all the bonuses that you see there. You can pay in installments if you want as well. I've tried to make it as affordable as possible. My program in 2014 was 279 quid. So we're now 8 years later, you're getting a program that's 3 times as big. You're getting me and Matt. You're getting the 30 days of follow-up that nobody got, and it's cheaper. It's £32 cheaper. So try to make it as affordable as possible for people, because I get it. I understand people's gas and electric are at ridiculous prices right now. But bulletproofactor.com, if you want to get involved in that, I would love to have you on it. We're going to cap the places at probably 120. We're nearly at 100, I think, actors, so there's still going to be like 20-odd places left. But it'll sell out. Every training session we do like this, I do these kind of programs every year, they always sell out. They never get, sort of to the point where we're still selling places the day before or anything. So if you are up for it, jump on sooner rather than later. But no pressure, but I would love to work with you personally if you just want to get your head right for 2023. But Atomic Habits, in Module 2, Maya, we're going to look at a lot. And just the identity that people have around acting. I think that's the biggest thing that crushes most actors, is they don't actually really sit and think about what is it for them that is being an actor. Because I promise you, being an actor is not just being on telly. That is not it. That's like the smallest part of it, really. That's like when you see those graphics, where it shows you the tip of the iceberg, and then it shows you all the work that goes on underneath. Like, the tip of the iceberg for an actor is having your show on TV. All the work underneath is what you should identify as being an actor. So that's a big thing that we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at how to literally crush procrastination, be more productive than ever, build that bulletproof confidence, really develop authentic confidence, help you with the courage ultimately, so to stretch, get out of your own way. It's just going to be an incredible weekend. I bloody love it. It's literally. It's the best kind of coaching that I do, I think, in terms of for my own fulfillment as well, because it just reminds me so much of like stuff I also, we're not invincible. We all know this stuff sometimes and then need reminders to keep implementing it. And there's some things I go over and I go, shit, yes, that's that thing I need to start doing again. So it's brilliant. Callum said it started off as Saturday workshops, like a hobby at the time, and then I had it in my head that drama school allows me to learn more as an actor. Callum, you're just living the dream. Saturday drama school as a kid. Try to think how long, because I did. Anyone remembers David Johnson in Manchester? He was like an absolute acting royalty. He passed away last year, unfortunately. But what a guy he was. And I used to go to workshops with him as a kid. And then as an adult, I started going to them before I went to real drama school, like, at Manchester Met. But he was brilliant. And just as good as drama school, by the way, as well. That's the thing as well. That's another limiting belief people have. I can't be an actor until I go to drama school. It's bullshit. The most successful actors I know never went. And I mean, like, literally in my own private circle of friends, the ones who have won BAFTAs, Oscars, and have made 7 figures out of this industry, none of them went to drama school. They worked bloody hard on their craft, but they didn't go to drama schools. That's another thing with people's mindsets that they need to work on. Adam, how you doing? Says you've got to say you are an actor. Ask, believe, receive. I love it. No, you definitely do. So people's belief systems are fueled by so much bullshit just around what they can and can't achieve, and so many people's limited beliefs were also put on them by other people. They were never meant to be their own, or if they've brought them on their self, it might have been a past trauma of 10 years ago where an actor went into an audition and forgot the lines once, the only time in their life. And then since that moment, now they've developed this belief that they've got a bad memory. And then they've made that part of their identity. Like, oh, well, I just don't do very well with lines. Well, of course you don't do very well remembering lines if that's what you're telling yourself. Like, really, really fascinating. Christine, how you doing, mate? Good to see you on the stream, man. Lethal Weapon and Mad Max made me want to be an actor. So nice, man. Nice. Lethal Weapon was just wicked. I don't think I've seen Mad Max, but Lethal Weapon, absolutely bloody brilliant. And the music on that is just wicked as well. Love it. You are doing Bulletproof, Maya. Nice one. Fantastic. Well, we're going to be covering Atomic Habits. Read the book, though. Read the book before you do that program. And like I say, anyone else who wants to read all about that and get involved, maybe bulletproofactor.com. Would bloody love to work with you and just make the rest of your life cheesy, innit? But the rest of your life, the best of your life. Right, let's have a look. You are right, Adam. You're dropping all the bombs today. Who was it who was asking me who said it's my job to go to auditions, and we were all saying different actors. I've heard it come out of lots of actors' mouths, but I think you're right. Bryan Cranston said it first because he talks. You can see it's that clip on YouTube where he talks about going into an audition. He says, metaphorically opening up his case, putting out his wares, and saying, "This is what I have to offer. You can have them if you want. If you're not interested, it's totally cool." Close the case back up and walk out, and that's his job done. He says his job is auditioning. So yeah. If you've signed up for Bulletproof Actor, by the way, let me know. We're sending out some handwritten postcards to say thank you. I think we've got, because I take your address at checkout, I think we managed to figure out everybody's addresses, bar two people. Two people's address was a bit messed up and no postcard or something like that. But everyone else who signed up, let me know if you've got a postcard from it. And if you have, it'd mean the world if you posted a picture of it on Twitter and just added at Act on this TV or at Bulletproof Act. Because I'm just doing something different. I thought it'd be quite nice just to send people a little thank you. I've never done it before, but let me know. I just want to know it's working and people are receiving their postcards. So do let me know. Definitely. Joe's coming on Bulletproof Actor. Nice one, Joe. Says what's that about? You were working as a civil servant, then you retrained, did a BA in performing arts, now a Lambda and drama coach and role player. So want to be on TV again. Can make it happen, Joe. Keep putting in the work. Adam's an electrician, but Adam, we can, you know what, electricians, you'd be an absolute asset on any TV set, mate. if you can double up as an actor and be a spark at the same time, just to have an hand in case they have any lighting issues, they would snap you up. Definitely. Maya's got a postcard. Nice one, Maya. Drop us a tweet. That'd be wicked. If you got a picture of that. Callum says just sent a tweet about Bulletproof. Nice one, Callum. Look out for that, mate. Let's have a look. I did Saturday drama school when I was a teen, says Indra as well. Kerry didn't go to drama school. Got a postcard this weekend. Nice one, Kerry. Love my postcards, says Kelly. Yes, everyone's getting the postcards. I love that. I'm going to start doing little things like that. Just a little bit of surprise and delight. I know it's only a little tiny thing. I just thought, start off with just a postcard and then maybe we'll work it up. Maybe I'll just randomly send Acts on This members, I don't know, a copy of a book or something like that, or just something a little bit random just to surprise and delight people. I'm all about that. Right, folks, we've got about 2-3 minutes left. What have I not been through? So just a reminder again, this Thursday night, if you're not a member of actsonthis.tv, get a bloody membership. Come and join us. Become part of literally the most motivated, inspiring community of actors on earth. And every single week you'll get access to private Zoom calls with the biggest names in the game. Literally the biggest. Oscar winners, BAFTA winners, RTS winners, casting directors, agents, actors, writers, producers. It's no different this Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Live. Oh, look at that. Petch, what has he done there? Petch designed this graphic. He's put acting with 2 T's. So this is a live acting mastermind. With BBC's The Responder writer, Tony Schumacher. I'll get him to change this graphic tomorrow. Acting is definitely not spelt with 2 T's, folks. He's busy, the lad, though. He's overworked, so I'll let him off. But yeah, Tony Schumacher, literally one of the most talented writers I've ever met in my life. I did the read-through for The Responder. I was reading the stage directions in for The Responder at their read-through. Blew my mind. It's got an incredible cast. Martin Freeman's in it. He's amazing. He was brilliant at the read-through as well. We jumped on Zoom, and I thought that looks a bit... I mean, I've not seen Martin Freeman really in stuff since The Office. That was a long time ago. And jumped on Zoom, and I was like, that looks like him, but he doesn't sound like him at all. And this was before the read-through had started. Obviously, he looks a bit different to how he looked in The Office. And it's because he was in a Scouse accent, because his character is a Scouser in the show, and he had his Liverpudlian accent on, even in between, just talking to the rest of the people normally, not even, whilst we're doing the read-through. He was just phenomenal. I was like, he's so good, and he's brilliant in this. But Tony's story about writing The Responder is just one of the most inspiring things you'll ever hear. He's a proper hustler. His mindset's right now. He's been through a lot of stuff in the past. He was in the police, had a bit of a breakdown. Like I said before, he became homeless. And then he got himself out of that, became a taxi driver, and a chance, from what I gather, we're going to hear all about it on Thursday, a chance conversation with a passenger got him into writing. And a few years later, here he is, literally, I'm sure he's going to win BAFTAs next year for The Responder. It's up for so many awards for the RTSs at the moment. I'm sure it'll smash it at the BAFTAs as well. But that's this Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. If you want to check out the full schedule of calls, stuff that's coming up, atsonthis.tv/live. I'll just show you that. I'll share that if you're here live. Now, if you go to atsonthis.tv/live, you can see what else is coming up. So we've got Tony's this Thursday. And then we've got the Downton Abbey casting director Jill Trevellick on the 25th of October. Julia Hesbenhouse, she used to play Hayley Cropper in Coronation Street. She's amazing. She's now been in like Happy Valley, Broadchurch, Doctor Who. She's just written a great book. She's been very kind to dedicate a little bit to me in there. So Julie's coming on to talk all about that book and just her career. That's on the 1st of November. We got BAFTA winning casting director Aisha Bywater's coming on the 15th of November. I'm dropping podcasts in between this. We've got Phil Barantini as one of those podcasts before Christmas. He's the director of a new ITV drama called Malpractice, but he was also the director of the Stephen Graham film Boiling Point. Just some of the best people just in the industry, guys, all coming to just give you as much advice as they possibly can, as much help as they can in your own career. So atsonthis.tv, get a membership if you've not got one already. I'm going to check out the comments here, and then we'll call it an evening. But thanks so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it. It just goes so fast, doesn't it? Definitely. Sophia's got a place on Bulletproof Actor. Nice one, Sophia. That's wicked. Yeah, Martin was good in Sherlock, Callum. Really good. Definitely. I didn't watch much of it at all, but he's just a brilliant actor. He's just really good. Whatever he turns his hand to, he's just good. Definitely. Can you interview Michaela Cole? I'd love to, if I can get her on, Gary. I mean, I can definitely try, mate. You know, yeah, why not? Definitely. 'Cause yeah, I mean, God, she's just done incredible things, hasn't she, in the industry? So, yeah, I can look at making it happen. If anyone's ever got any suggestions, no matter how, like, you know, blue sky thinking, no matter how big you think these guests are, they can only say no, you know. So just let me know who you'd want. And, you know, we've had big people on, you know, in the past. Stephen Graham, his wife Hannah. You know, you've had people like, like Rachel, who's you know, she's an Academy Award winner. David Harewood, Jill Halfpenny, Matt Lucas. You know, some really decent, you know, proper household names on. So yeah, let's go for it. Just give me some more suggestions. People can tweet me anytime at Act on This TV. So thank you, folks. Means the bloody world you all being here. Really appreciate it. If we can do anything for you, drop me a tweet. Bulletproofactor.com if you want to learn more about that weekend. In fact, someone might adjust while I've been on here. Did someone get their place on Bulletproof Actor before? Oh, that was you, Sophia. Nice one. Wicked. Yeah, I gotta say, I just saw something come through. That's awesome. Look out for a little postcard in the post, Sophia. We'll send you a postcard if you put your address in. Really appreciate that. Thank you for being a part of it and getting involved. But yeah, honestly, it's gonna be a wicked event. I can't wait for it. We're gonna spend the next 6 weeks planning it and just making it literally the best. Well, it's the only high performance mindset coaching program for actors on earth. The previous Bulletproof Actor was the only other one, and that's retired now. So this one is still the only one on earth because nobody else is doing it. So, and this would be the best one, even if there were others. I promise you. Right, what can I play to finish up this evening? What have we got here? I've got actually talking about mindset. I don't know what this clip is. This is from a podcast. So Matt Hall, who's the guy who's doing Bulletproof Actor with me. The high performance mindset coach. He's done a couple of podcasts with me in the past. If you're a member of atsonthis.tv, dive into your members area, scroll to the bottom of the premium membership, and you'll see a section saying features with other industry pros, and you'll find a couple of sessions with Matt. One was a Zoom webinar. One was a podcast in my kitchen where we covered, I think we covered 5 of the most common mindset problems for actors. And I think I've got a video here. I don't know if we're discussing any in detail or if this is what is included in that podcast. I'm going to gamble and play the video anyway. Don't know what's in it. But either way, it's going to give you a, you know, sort of give you an idea of some of the stuff that we'll be covering on that Bulletproof Actor weekend as well. But you can also go and watch the full podcast, this full chat. It'll probably be a 2-hour chat in the members area. At on this right now. So I'll play that to finish tonight. Just dive back into the comments one last time. Get Des Hamilton on again, says Chris. He's been on. I don't know what more Des could say. Des Hamilton was probably the most honest casting director I've ever had on the site. I mean, it needs a parental guidance. I think it's the only one I've put out that actually says. I wonder if it does say something like strong language is used in this. I don't know if I did do that. You're gonna. Oh, now I'm gonna want to go over to the site and just check. If you've not seen the one with Des, I wonder. I don't know if I did. I don't know if I did, Christian. I imagine if there was one that had bad language warning on it, it'd be that one. Des. I'll just search for Des. Let's have a look. Des Hamilton. I bet I didn't in the... This is the preview of it. I wonder if I did. No, so not there. I just wonder in the members area if I put a... Let me log in. I seem to remember putting a disclaimer on something once because the air was so blue. But what a straight talking legend that guy is. Look at all these features, by the way, guys. You get one membership that's on this. You get access to all of this. There's literally nothing like it in the world. No, I didn't. I don't think I did. Let me just see if it comes into a disclaimer of bad language. No, I didn't. I probably should have done. That must have been on something else then. I don't think anyone else has sworn more than Des ever. But the lad just says it as it is. He's absolutely brilliant, and he's one of the kindest ultimately he champions more new talent than pretty much more than anybody else that I've spoken to in terms of he will give anybody a chance, but his motto is like, if I give you a shot, you better be effing ready, like, because I will give you a shot if you ask for it. You know, if you're like, listen, I've never done anything before, but I really want to act. Des is the kind of guy who'll go, right, okay, I'll give you a shot. Sometimes in members of actsonthis.tv, he's even paid for people's train fare to go down and see him and stuff like that. He's an incredible guy, but you better be ready if you get an opportunity with him. So if you do ever get an audition with Des, make sure you are prepared. Or if you ever write to him requesting anything, make sure you're ready, basically. Right, I'm going to play, I'm going to leave you guys. I'm going to play this thing with Matt Hall. I don't know what it is. I'm just playing it, but I think this is where we were talking about 5 mindset problems that actors face. If you want to watch the full session, it's in the members area right now, and this will give you a taste of some of the stuff we talk about on Bulletproof as well, so bulletproofactor.com. Love to you all. Have an amazing week. Go out there, ask for what you want, shout if I can help you, and I'll see you Thursday night with Tony Schumacher, 7:30 p.m. Be there. Until next time, folks, bye for now. Matt Hall, welcome to my kitchen. Matt did an awesome webinar with us in November.
What I love to see is the amount of people that are posting about it and importantly focusing on not just what they took away from the last webinar, but what they're going to implement.
The first one is...
You can't remember, that's why, isn't it? You didn't know their name.
People struggling with email anxiety.
The more that you can handle pressure, judgment, expectation, stress, and ultimately dealing with problems, the more success you can handle.
Patience. People just struggle so much with patience.
What you've got to understand is you cannot control the outcome. You can control it as best as possible by doing everything you can possibly do. But like you said, there's an awful lot out of your control. We have to come back to finding joy in the journey. A happy, content, confident person is an attractive person.
The third point that people were struggling with is self-esteem.
If I've done it before, I can do it again.
Yes.
So if you've been in the acting industry and you've had, some great opportunities, you've been a part of something great, and even if it wasn't paid opportunities, but you did a good performance, it doesn't matter how long you've been out there, you've got evidence to support the belief that you can do it.
Imposter syndrome. What is it to you? Because I think it's actually a really positive thing in my life if I feel it.
It means you're on the path of growth. It means you're on the path of high achievement, of greatness, of excellence. I completely agree. It's a really, really positive place to be.
People being super self-critical of their performance, yet seeing great in everybody else but them.
Self-awareness. If everyone else is great and you think you're shit, is there evidence? And find someone you trust to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Like, does anyone else agree with this opinion? Here is the secret to being a successful actor.
Go on.